All right, folks, I'm in a situation where I'm not sure exactly how much time I have to work on this, but I'm going to go for it right now. And I'm going to stop beating around the bush and really paint this thing. I've been trying to mess with grayscale and layer options and trying to get this thing colored, but I figure it's best for me to just paint and pick the colors myself. I was able to, at least isolate the form shadows and, get that all done, but I need to do it with color in mind, and I can't avoid, color theory by trying to do a conversion from grayscale to color. I've just learned it just does not work that way. So, I mean, maybe it can, but I think it's more efficient to just dive into color. The world is not a monochrome world, and, light works the way it does because that's how it is. So I'm going to go ahead and just merge these down now. The color, the multiply layer, and merge that down. Make sure I have like the right colors here. I don't need these base color layers anymore. Or maybe I do. I'm not sure. What happens if I turn this one into an overlay? How does that look? No, it starts getting desaturated. So I'm just going to get in here with what I made. I'm going to keep one of these base grayscale layers just to see if I can do anything with it in the future. But here I'm just going to keep this, turn this into a normal layer. And I'm just going to get in there and paint. I'm going to start with one character at a time and just build a palette. So I think it's helpful for me to have a palette for now because, I don't know, it's difficult for me to... you know what? I think we got to get a background in there too. I remember I airbrushed this sort of orange. Let's duplicate this one and get it on top. So duplicate here, move this one on top as a reference, and then turn the opacity up to 100. So we have this fade from warm to cool. And with these characters that are kind of going from reddish to purple pink. So I'm going to airbrush a sort of background in here. I'll keep that orange, and then we'll just sort of airbrush and mess with the colors. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to erase this. Don't need that anymore. And we have the verses up there. Yeah. Okay, so let's take this and grab a soft brush, remove the references for now, and then yeah. So airbrush here, soft brush, and then we'll darken this a bit actually because I think it should be darker. So we'll just go brightness down, saturation up. Gonna move it more into the orange realm. Saturation might be too much, so let's desaturate a bit here. Yeah, we'll turn that orange, and then we'll take our airbrush. We're gonna take like this purple blue, maybe desaturate a little bit. Yeah, and we want it to be dark, as if they're kind of in dark rooms about to do battle over the internet is what the request was. Let's get some purple in there right at the edge, and maybe let's get a lighter blue in here, less I guess more towards the green would be coming this way. And I always think it's interesting how digital colors will blend. I'm not in one of those advanced painting, realistic painting programs where, the colors are designed to mix like paint. I'm pretty sure Procreate can do. I don't know if Procreate can do that, but it's not designed to do that. So I just find it really interesting how some of those programs are designed. I've always been curious. I don't know if Coral Painter is meant to do that, but there's a whole bunch now. I don't even know if Coral Painter is the standard anymore as far as that goes. Let's make the red a little bit stronger up here. Almost getting a pure red up here. But then that kind of clashes because her coat is crimson. And I don't want to, go red on red too much. So let's keep it in the orange, but just brighten it a bit up there. Don't want to go too bright, so just kind of hints of that. Let's get yellow in the middle. Let's kind of brighten it up in the middle where that versus sign is going to be. And then let's get like a yellowish white here in the middle. So let's kind of fire up the versus sign here in the middle. Not sure what color, maybe more of a yellow, gold. Just get it a little bit brighter over here. That's good. Now it's a little bit saturated, a little bit strong, so let's maybe, because we want the characters to stand out, not the background. So let's probably desaturate a little bit. Just a little bit. Now let's play with hues here. Now I think the hue is good, so I'm going to keep that the same. Turn down the brightness, up the saturation. Playing with the saturation here. We want a light gradient, but still maybe keeping this yellow in the light in the middle. Maybe a smaller soft brush. Yeah, smaller there. Let's get a little bit more purple down here at the edge. And again, I'm gonna try to keep it desaturated. Desaturate a little bit more. Yeah, that's decent. We can work with this. I don't know if we want to like posterize it in the back. I don't know, but let's just get in there and paint. That's a decent enough background. So we have this here. Dark crimson coat with the sleeves fading to black. So we need to, I think here a color drop might be good. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the alpha lock actually. A color drop might be good for the color of the coat, a dark crimson. Oh, let's go into the right layer here. And let's see, how much do we want to capture with the color drop? Just the shirt. Yeah, I think that's good. And then the top is a darker blue, so I'm gonna go ahead and color drop that and make it a little darker. Decrease the threshold so it's just grabbing the shirt. I think that's okay. How does that look? Yeah, and it darkened the shadows, and I think that's fine. We're gonna try to do some bounce light too. And then the skin color is off. It got a little bit pale and green, so we're gonna return some pink to the skin by doing a color drop here. So let's go into the pinkish orange, usually the type of color I like to use for skin. That's a little bit dark, so let's see. Yeah, we're gonna brighten it a little bit. Get in here. A little bit dark still. More towards the yellow maybe. That was a little bit pale still. So usually getting skin colors is pretty precise endeavor. I think that'll do. Maybe color drop in here too. You know what? Yeah, for the shadow down there, we'll mess with it. That green is kind of throwing me off, but the shorts are black. So let's get black in there, and then her fingerless gloves are also black. So I think we're just gonna, for the shorts, we'll maybe just paint it in, or maybe we'll color drop because it'll preserve the. With black too, I always use a slight hue of blue or green. It always feels right to do that. I'm gonna stretch it a little bit more. It's not really capturing the shadow. I might do the shadow first for the color drop. Yeah, and then maybe get in here. Do we want to darken all the shadows here? No, don't want to capture everything. Color drop is always a weird, finicky tool. Maybe just right here and then paint in the rest. So the colors are a little bit better. And then we have pieces of the hair that are different. Man, it's like it's almost as if I've kind of removed all my work that was done on the finding the shadows. Like, what if I turn this layer, make it visible again, and turn this one into an overlay? Well, let's see what happens. Yeah, you know, it's just, what if I make it a multiply? If I multiply it, we're getting some of the shadows back. So I might, yeah, might be valuable to keep the shading that I did, so that it's not lost as I'm painting. But for now, yeah, we'll just paint. So here, where do we start? Let's start somewhere. Let's start with the skin. I think the skin would make sense. So here, I'm gonna find a palette. Let's remove the. Let's actually make a new layer. I call this palette. So we have our. Oh, let's not use airbrushes. Let's use our inking, our painting. So this is our skin color, and for a form shadow, I like to use warm colors. Getting to cool. So I think in this case, like a purplish might be good. Never really good at like selecting these, but this might be good. Let's actually go downwards here. We want a highlight color. I think this sort of light blue-green haze from the computer screen might be good, because that's where the highlights would be coming from, because most of the lighting is going to be from the front. So that color there, I might blend it a little bit, maybe smudge it a little bit into the skin color, like that. So maybe this color here, but more towards the white, so right there. Yeah, that makes a little bit of blue in there. So it's like cool colors all around, right? From the computer screen, the blue light, and also the blue shadow. This might be a little bit dark. So maybe let's decrease the intensity by smudging them together a little bit. Yeah, we'll use that as a form shadow color. And then the cast shadow color, yeah, that green is not right. So I guess we'll just do sort of a dark desaturated blue-green. Maybe a little bit more saturated here. We'll find it. We'll find one that might work. How does that? And of course the cast shadow is going to be different per surface, so we'll just have that as a default for now, and then maybe smudge these together to keep it more in the skin. Oh wait, but we're working with just skin, so I think warming this up a little bit might be okay. So yeah, maybe like that. That's pretty strong. Yeah, I think we want to go more red in here. More red, more warm. And maybe not quite as dark. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, yeah, that looks better. Okay, so we'll take this color now. And I guess because of the lighting, I should redecide where my highlights and stuff will be. And while we're here in the head, maybe we'll focus on the head right now. We'll find the palette for the hair. There are two pieces, so there's a light blue and a dark blue, and I think we'll do palettes for both. I'm just gonna try to be thorough here. So this is our base color, our highlight color. We'll make it a bit stronger than this. We'll make it move it towards like a lighter tealish green. For hair, you can have strong highlights. Hair is a little bit more oily in texture, so it can get shinier. So you can get pretty strong white highlights here. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, let's go even lighter. But I want to, I guess, preserve the type of color there and not move into the other color that we're going into. Yeah, so maybe something like this. Yeah. And then what is the hair color for the lighter blue? So here we'll find a form shadow color. Now I'm doing a 4 value scale because bounce light depends on what's bouncing. I can't, because I know a 5 value scale and the middle value is bounce light, but I'm gonna save bounce light for last, because then you analyze like what's around it. So here, form shadow. So again, this is a very formal approach to me, and I guess I will evolve, and maybe I'll be able to one day, you know, find these colors by myself. But form shadow will move into coolness, like purple, maybe there. And then cast shadow, if there's any deep cast shadows, we'll just desaturate and go dark. For hair, we can go dark. We can go black almost. And then we'll find the other color of her hair, which is this less saturated royal blue. I never know how to describe these things, but I kind of have an idea of what I'm getting at. So this one's gonna be palette. This one's gonna be like this. And you know what? We can go lighter. Yeah, we can go lighter. It's gonna be like this. And the highlight color will get really light again. Yeah, like that. And then for form shadow, we'll cool it down a little bit and go down here. I'm not very precise as far as like the level of contrast. I'm kind of just guessing. But I guess I'll try to think about, I don't want to have to derive color theory. I want to be able to, like, you know, use the master's knowledge, but I would have to get in and watch some painting videos to do that. So for now, I'm just kind of guessing at it. I want to make sure I have that enough contrast with this midtone and this midtone. So I'm going to lighten this up a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. So I'm going to find the places where those strands of hair looks like a little bit in the bangs, a little bit in the front. I'm going to start with our base color. So definitely here. And now, again, I'm just painting, so I'm losing some of the highlights I made earlier. And that is okay. I'm not committed to those marks I made before. And how is the shape of this? It's pointy at the top, so coming from a certain part of the head. And then some strands in the bangs and some strands in the left and right. So let's just sort of improv this. Like that. Some on that side. Some on this side, just kind of at the edge there. I can do more. Yeah, it looks like there's some at the edges here. A little bit right there. So some strands sort of absorbing that lighter blue. And then some on the side, some longer ones like right over here. And how long do we want to make it? Like that. Oh shoot, I am in the wrong layer. Holy moly. Let's grab this stuff. Cut and paste. Cut and then paste. And then let's merge that with our base color layer. I was painting in the palette layer. That's bad. Merge this down. Okay. Okay, so now we're in the right place, and the alpha lock is on, so that's good. I was wondering why the alpha lock wasn't on. That's what helped me discover that I was in the wrong layer. And very messy right here, so I'm just gonna clean up the edges as I go. I mean, it helps to put these in different layers, but yeah, I didn't. So down here we're gonna have a form shadow a little bit in the neck, and then a cast shadow right here where the chin is. Not crazy strong. I mean, and I did some hatching lines there too. Form shadow as we move away from the laptop. I guess I'm just gonna consider this lit from the front with a general like dark purple ambient lighting. So for form shadow, since we're moving away from the laptop in front of her, we're gonna make everything sort of lit from the front. Let's get some eyes in there. Now with eyes, I don't think I need to make a palette since it's just a small section. I'm gonna squeeze and mirror real quick. Ooh, where's my apple squeeze? Oh, it's not working. My double tap is working. Where's my... Oh, there it is. Apple pencil squeeze. Come on. It's not giving me the haptic feedback. Wow, do I have to squeeze a certain way? The reason I'm doing this is because I know one of the eyes looks a little bit lopsided. I want to make sure I kind of balance that. Maybe add a little bit of eyelash right here in the paint layer. Or shadow at least. With eyes, I like, you know, cool shadows. So like this maybe desaturated blue right in here. That's too gray, but let's get a little more blue in there. And then we'll get the white and sort of mix it in. And what color are her eyes? I think they're pink. Yeah, pink, shiny anime eyes, purplish. So we're kind of getting to this area over here, like that. With a pupil in the middle. When you don't shade anything, it looks a little bit lifeless. So we're gonna get those highlights in there. Yeah, so we're gonna go over here, kind of do this kind of thing. Maybe a little bit more in the pink, like that. And what color is like the center pupil? It's black, so we'll just go black. Let's zoom in here. Not trying to be super precise yet with the painting on the eyes, but it will look lifeless unless you add highlights. So let's wet the eyes a little bit with using our highlights, and we are gonna go from the bottom here and then a little bit at the top if it's like kind of reflecting through. So now the eyes have a little bit more life. Highlighting from the bottom because of the laptop again. And she also has like two shiny parts in there too, so yeah, it fits. But we'll get in there and be more precise over time. Okay. Let's erase. There's just things that are looking imprecise in here. I think this part's going to take time. You know, I was trying to save time by doing the grayscale, but it ended up kind of using more time, so that's okay. Yeah, Opus Inker 1 is my eraser. When you erase, the alpha lock is maintained or kept on, so I can erase and then be confident that I won't go over the lines after I erase. Okay. Yeah, the colors look so weird right now. We're gonna have to really rebuild this thing. Yep, should have saved time and just gone in there with color right away. So I don't know how many more hours this will take, but we'll see. I mean, as I have a structure, and the structure speeds things up more than it slows it down. So just, you know, stick with it. So we'll see. I don't want to predict. My last video, it was pretty short, but I talked about, you know, just really having that love as a guiding light, as a beacon, and just following that is gonna, you know, reduce the stress I have in my life as far as having purpose and knowing how to guide my actions. It's really important for me to have a sense of purpose. Oftentimes, if I don't have that, even if I'm sort of meandering in this, you know, quantum field of unpredictability, having that sense of direction is so valuable for me as a person, that it really frees me to have confidence in the way I go about my life. And again, I've listened to over 350 episodes of the Word on Fire podcast with Bishop Robert Barron, just trying to understand these concepts of the faith, as I've, you know, mostly motivated at first by sobriety from addiction, but now it's like I really want to master myself. And that, I suppose it logically follows from trying to get free from addiction. It's like, okay, I've lived a life with lack of self-mastery, self-possession, and now I want it, and it's good to have. It's good for me. It's good for my family, to have this. And I guess it just follows that if you're able to kind of master yourself in one way, you start seeking to master yourself in all ways. So what's happened is, like, starting from one vice, then I address the next one, and then the next one, and try to eliminate it, and try to fill that void with virtue, and fill that time with love, with positive action. It's been a wonderful but painful process of growth. And the pain comes from knowing that it's not for me, and nothing is really for me except from those who love me, and that's God and those who love me. You know, I'm not going to reject love from those who love me, but I, as a person, I believe, you know, especially as a Christian, I am fulfilled by the act of love, which is the total abandonment of self, the detachment from personal desire into love for the other, and for me, that being my family. And I've talked about this thing a whole lot, and I'm going to keep talking about it because that's me. That's my whole thing. That's my whole life. And, you know, I advise and encourage others to kind of see life the same way. Look at what it is you love, or who it is you love. That is the beloved, and that's what you can live for. I hesitate to say what it is you love, because I think loving people is a lot more valuable than loving any particular thing or any particular idea or concept. It's hard to even call it love, I suppose, if it's toward a thing, a non-human thing. But you can love your cat, your dog, to will the good of that being. Can I will the good of a I don't know, a piece of art? Sure, I suppose I can. Yeah, I don't know. Something I need to think about, I guess. Now I want to see if this is the right highlight, if this color is the right highlight color. I think it looks fine. Let's use a larger brush here. I think it should be more white though, so let's change this in the palette towards less saturation. So we'll go to our palette here, change the highlight color of the hair to this. This one too will make it a little brighter. Like I said, hair is oily and shiny and can really get white. So we'll get it back in here. We'll sort of softly brush it in. That still might be too strong. And here we might, I don't know, do some smudging. I'm not really sure. Let's redo the highlights here. And again, we're thinking about the general lighting of this. So the light's coming from her front, actually. So let's actually rethink where the highlights are going to be coming from. I know it's anime. By reflex, you just want to put it around that ring halo around the head. But here, I mean, it's going to be different, isn't it? So here, it's going to have this highlight towards the front. Person running outside, that's inspiring. I want to run more. I want to be more athletic. Maybe I'll give myself a chance tonight. So there's that highlight. This highlight's going to be also a little bit lower in the head than usual. Kind of like right here. Moving towards the laptop. Maybe a strong highlight here at the front. Strong highlight right here. This would be this color, actually. This would be here. Highlight right here. There might be some more over here. Again, unusual places to put highlights when drawing an anime character, but I'm trying to think of the logic of where the light's coming from. Just kind of reduce the intensity a little bit. Maybe smudge them in. If it looks too awkward. I watched another time lapse today. Very amazing time lapse. I forgot his name. Adrian something on YouTube. Did a big painting, big digital painting of this volcano monster lady. Great process. On a level of digital painting that I can't even fathom for myself. But watching process videos, I guess I've been able to absorb them a little bit better because I've been thinking about it a lot and trying to work on my own stuff and understanding my weaknesses as a digital artist, as an illustrator. I honestly want to go back to animation sometimes, but that's a whole nother can of worms as far as problem solving. But I feel like I'm better at it overall than illustration. Maybe because the talent pool, I'm not sure. You know, maybe the talent pool is just smaller. And I feel like I have a better grasp of, like, relative to other artists of how to animate. Whereas with digital illustration, it's just, people are so good at this that I don't even compare sometimes. And, you know, sometimes I just want to think, okay, I just want to get this commission done. But I'm trying to do things well. Okay, let's find a tongue color. Kind of in here. We'll do. Get the core shadow. I don't want to have to make a whole palette for the tongue. Not right now. Let's get in here, and that color seems pretty decent. Yeah. Don't really want to shade the tongue, really. Not too much. Get a cast shadow in here. Okay. Highlight color for the skin. We'll put it right there. We'll put a highlight here too to show that the laptop is shining from the front. We'll put a little highlight on her cheek right there. Okay. Sun's shining in my eyes right now. I'm gonna sculpt, shape these highlights in the hair. Looks a little bit too, you can see the strokes a little too much. Yeah, that's okay. And then we can get more highlight maybe here in the strands on the sides. Would there be highlight back there? Maybe a tiny bit. Let's find form shadows now. The hair in the back is turning away from the monitor, so we'll think of it as a sphere first, and all this up here is going to be darker. Oh, you know what? We gotta redo that alpha lock. Okay. Yeah, all this up here is going to be darker because the form of the head is turning away from the laptop in the front. So this will be totally out of light. That means for here also, we're gonna darken this. Ooh, this might be way too dark. This form shadow color here. I think we need to blend these. We'll get in the palette layer again. Let's blend these a little bit. Yeah, that looks a lot more reasonable. Yeah, there we go. So we'll darken this. Oh my gosh, I did it again. Hold on, let's go back. I was in the palette layer again. Okay, let's go back into the base. Should I just keep them all on the same layer? Maybe I should. Maybe I should. I'll just merge them because I want to save time. It's not like I'm going to be putting the palettes inside of their bodies. Let's just merge it down. Okay. So I keep it in the same layer. And then let's bring this down here. Sun's getting in my eyes. Okay. Yeah, am I totally going to reset my value work? It feels bad. Okay, we're gonna start building a palette now for the coat. Let's do it right here. So get a nice base color right here. I think that's good. We want that's the mid-tone, like it's already dark. So yeah, it's already dark. So it fades into black also. I think with the black fade we can just do a multiply layer. So we'll save that for later. So highlight, we're gonna go, I mean, it's gonna be blue, right? Hazy blue. So I think we'll just go into the blue and kind of see what it looks like as a highlight color onto the fabric. Just blend them in, maybe. Now this color is a mystery to me. What is that? It's just totally desaturated, isn't it? So interesting, when I mix blue and the red, it just totally desaturated. So but our highlight color, I mean, it's still gonna shine red, isn't it? Because it's a cloth texture, it's not really a shiny texture, so it should still be red. If anything, the lighting will just barely change it. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and maybe move this up into a lighter red color, blend it into that weird desaturated color, and then maybe find something in here to make it, yeah, let's make it a little bit more red than this. Again, just trying to improvise my color theory. I'm not great at this. And a cast shadow, a form shadow will be quite dark, but I think the base color we can get a little bit lighter than this actually. Go right like that, and then the form shadow we can get quite dark. And again, maybe moving into the cool a little bit. Maybe we can even go purple here. Yeah, like that. And then a cast shadow can be quite dark. Go black. Yeah, this color might be too dark, so we're gonna lift this a little bit. Yeah, that'll do. And I like that it's not just red. We're working with oh, we'll mirror again, by the way. Squeeze and flip. Yeah, good. So now, yeah, it totally reverses the work that I did, because just thinking about this now, thinking of light source, the form shadow is gonna be on the other side, isn't it? So this is gonna be here, and the form shadow is gonna be over here. Wow, yeah, we're gonna, that feels bad. We're gonna just undo the work that I did with the grayscale. The grayscale looked really good too, but we're not gonna use it. That's why I say art is alive. You know, sometimes you just gotta prune or cut off things that you don't need. And for me, it's just the process. needs to continue to evolve. Let's see here. As it turns away from the light, yeah, we'll just do this a little bit at a time here. So here we got that blue turning away. Let's get our alpha lock back. I've been turning the alpha lock in and on and off because of we're making more palettes. And the fuzziness of the blue ears, they are a lot lighter, a more desaturated blue. So maybe I don't. We'll just do it. We'll keep this formal approach. So we'll make another piece of the palette. So we'll take this ear color like this and then highlight it something like this. We'll keep it simple, not change the hue too much. And it does go into this sort of nice, pretty desaturated blue. So we'll go here and we'll form shadow. We'll just darken a little bit and go here. Maybe darker. I'm getting a lot of contrast between my midtones and form shadows because, by the way, I've successfully conditioned myself into saying form shadow rather than core shadow. I just like the word better. It describes what the shadow is doing rather than just where it is. And then cast shadow. We're not honestly getting not too much cast shadow in the ears, are we? But we are a little bit. We are a little bit actually, so, and that's okay. So we're going to take into account the hair's bounce light anyway, so it's going to be something like this. Going to be quite dark. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to put this form shadow in the back of the ears. Bring that alpha lock back. Coming this way. Light the front with this. And do we have highlights? Sort of. So we're going to use the form shadow to get some texture in the inner ear. Smudge it in a little bit, blend it in. Brush more in there. Get some cast shadow in there too. So cast shadow is going to be wrapping around the bottom of the ear here because the head is casting a shadow onto the ear. So we're going to put that down here. And get more in there. But that means, I mean, it shouldn't be darker than the back, right? So maybe we'll darken this even more, and I don't know. I think overall the ear should stay light. There's not too much contrast going on, so I don't want to overpaint this. So let's actually take this base color and just kind of brush over everything like this. Keep it simpler. So let's keep it simple. We'll take this color and homogenize it. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're continuing form shadows here in the hair. It's darker up top too. Yeah, strange. Might airbrush that later. Yeah, I think for that I might airbrush. Any gradients like that, I'll just airbrush on a multiply layer. Okay. Okay, continuing to take this form shadow color, work in shadows. I can start looking at like strands type patterns now. Just refine the detail. Yeah. Okay, this is starting to look okay. Let's get more curves in the pattern of the hair here. Less straight lines. Okay. Ah, sun's really getting in my eyes. Yeah, right in here. Get that form shadow. Turning slowly away. Kind of blending it some more. Let's get a little bit more mid-tone right up here. Maybe in here too. Is there any cast shadow in here? Like in between strands? Like in between locks of hair? We can do that. Well, my brightness is going down. Yeah, it's quite desaturated in the hair up there, so. Cast shadow back here. Let's just like kind of have this whole thing like darken towards the back. This is good. I think the lighting is like kind of correct here, so we're gonna keep going with this. What happened? Like my brightness seems like it's changing. Maybe it's the sun in my eyes. Okay, so now we'll keep going with the coat here. Yeah, we're gonna have to like really, it's totally a reset. Unfortunate. Yep, we're resetting. I'm gonna sit with this one. That's what I told myself when I was at work today. I was like, when I go back to this piece, I'm gonna sit with it. Meaning, you know, I was getting kind of mentally tired of trying to figure out this whole color theory thing and working from the grayscale, and it was just bothering me. But not only am I like sitting with it for the sake of discipline, but because of my thoughts on love earlier, my thoughts on like that, having that guiding light, it's like, okay, we'll just persist in this piece, you know? And again, my prerogative, I don't know if that's the right word, my MO, my goal is loving my family. Now this is professional work being done for a client, and I do will the good of the client, right? I want them to have a good product. But ultimately, there's some egotism in that, in the sense that I'm doing this because I'm getting paid. Honestly, I don't want to be drawing anime girls. Like, it's an old subject matter. It doesn't really satisfy me that well. I want to be drawing real stories. I want to be drawing the Catholic saints. And then if my anime, let's say I'm drawing Mary or, you know, a woman, you know, a lot of these anime female characters are designed to be sexy. They're designed to be attractive, and that's fine, you know. But that kind of thing is not what appeals to me anymore as an artist. And it appeals to so many people, like so many people getting into art, myself included, kind of got sucked into, you know, drawing beautiful female characters. And why not? There's like a natural beauty to it, but going into my addiction recovery and trying to grow in virtue, it's like there's much greater beauty in the wonderful story of the human condition and of human love. And that's why you get people like Hayao Miyazaki, who can tell these stories that are true, fictional stories that are true to the human condition, and not focus on making, you know, this pretty over-designed anime female character. Not that I have any problem with these designs. They're just not telling a complete story. And people put a lot of time into these designs, and I think that's fine. But the greatest anime stories are the ones that feel most human, like Dragon Ball, right? Let's think of Dragon Ball. What's good about Dragon Ball? It's, when you're a boy, or or a girl, or just a child watching Dragon Ball, you see these characters powering up and becoming more powerful. It's like, yes, that's amazing, that's awesome, I love that. And you see the motivations of people like Vegeta and Goku and Gohan, and you relate to these different characters. And Krillin, who's a regular guy, and you see the training arcs, and the achievement of, like, I've trained hard for this power up, and now I got it, and now here's how it measures against the villain's power up, and it's awesome. It's great. And these characters, like muscle bound, super powerful characters. But the way they look becomes a representation of their story. Because if you think about it, the art style, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, I mean, they all kind of look the same. If you really think about it, it's in their adult form. Goku's taller, Gohan's, maybe softer expression. Vegeta's Vegeta. He's shorter, but he's like, his machismo. Like, it's his story. It's the stories that really differentiate them, make them great. Now, these characters I'm drawing right now, I'm sure that the people who created them have their stories to tell about these characters, and that's wonderful. And that's theirs. I don't know anything about the stories of these characters. I wasn't really filled in on that. And that's okay, that's fine. I just get their design. They're VTubers, so it's like the design is really important. But the story of a VTuber is like, it's about them. It's their story. And they personify themselves into this character. And every VTuber has different motivations. Maybe for anonymity's sake, maybe they really want to become a different character and express themselves in that way. And that's for them to decide. I am just an artist to help them bring that vision to life. My own visions, I don't really get paid for. But I suppose I guess every artist's dream is like getting paid for your own vision to come to life. And for me, that is, right now, I don't see any purpose for myself in art besides maybe giving something enriching to my family, or giving something enriching to the Catholic Church at large, starting with my family. That's how I see the world now. And that's why I love the symbol of the Holy Family. And I talk about them as a symbol. They're not just a symbol. They're real people. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. But as a symbol, they truly exemplify the love of God in its perfection. And I think this is just wonderful. That's why I really love them as a subject matter. Now, as I suspected, she's kind of blending into the background a little bit because of these colors. So I don't want the red to just fade into the red. So I'm going to change the colors back here again. I'm going to maybe do a hue saturation pass. Maybe brighten it a little bit. Oh, what's going on here? Hold on, let's go back here. We want to be in this layer. That's what happened. So let's brighten it a little bit. Saturate it a little bit. Yeah, I think that's better with the orange. Brighten the whole thing. Yeah, I think that's better. We'll work with that for now. And here, I do want to saturate this character on the left a little bit more. So I think we'll just play with this a little bit more. Saturate the character. I try not to oversaturate things. I've been trying to work more in the desaturated, color space, but I think for these characters, working with saturation is going to be fine. I mean, these characters are very colorful, bright color designs. That's clearly pink, that's clearly purple, clearly blue. That's clearly, red, blue, and the primary colors. So I don't really want to deviate from that. One thing with the design, let's go ahead and fix this. There is a belt buckle there, so let's get in there and just fix it now. And again, like I said, I'm going to sit with this piece. I'm going to take my time to get it right. So let's remove this stuff right now and get back into the line art. Let's go Opus Inker 2 and go black. And let's add a belt buckle here. The sun is setting. I might see a sunset during this video. Let's see here. This has been a long one, and I think that's good. I think I want to more often sit with the process. So we have, are there holes in the, not really, don't really have holes in the, it would make sense to have holes in the belt, but I'm not going to draw them because I don't see it in the design. So we're just trying to draw a buckle. Right about here. Is that in the center? Yeah, I think that's fine. But the angle maybe can change a little bit. Angle it this way a little bit, because the body's kind of bending inward here, or bending. That's not quite in the center though, hold on. Center line is like right about here. So now we'll do this, we'll lengthen that piece a little bit. We'll bring this down a little bit. Whoa. Let's just merge all the line art too. I think it's fine with computers. It's all done anyway. So merge down. And then we'll go here. Go here. Straighten this piece. It's a metal piece. Like that. Okay. Increasing my virtue of patience here by sitting with it, sticking with it. Okay, there. That's good. That's good. So we'll get back into the color here. There. Yeah. One thing that makes me sad a lot of the time is, you know, I think my line art is good a lot of the time and looks good in black and white. But when you add dark colors, you lose a lot of the details of the line art. I usually don't want to lose it. And, you know, in old school comics, you have the black and dark hatching and dark shadows using black. So it's like, I don't know. You either go the route of like painting all the way and reducing line art to a minimum, or you go more graphical and you keep the line art and use lighter colors. I tend to gravitate toward the latter, but I've been trying to practice painting more. I don't know. Like with the lighter colors on our skin and hair, I think it's fine. The line art is still kind of featured, but once you get into the coat, it's kind of lost. That's okay. I'm already sure that this is pretty close to satisfying for the commissioner. I want to do my best work, but I don't have time, so let's just get it done. Gotta strike that balance. So here we have the dark navy. I think this color is already right, but I think it's too dark for a mid-tone. So let's work on our palette here. Go back to this color brush. Let's actually put it down here. And then let's do let's make the mid-tone a little lighter already, like that. And then we'll make our form shadow darker. Like that. We're not really changing the hue because it's dark blue. Cast shadow, is there any cast shadows? If at all, it's going to be super dark. And then highlights, we're going to use a lighter blue like this. Get that haze from the computer screen. Desaturate. Something like that. Even that might be too bright, so. Don't really know the texture of the this article of clothing. Oh, but before we shade it, we want to get that pattern in, so let's actually paint that in directly. It's a moon, yellow moon with a yellow dot right in the middle. Whoa, what happened? Oh, I accidentally touched that? Oh, I must have done some gesture that makes this only this layer visible. That's interesting. Okay, so yeah, so it's yellow. It's almost like a neon yellow. And then that little emblem is gold. So let's set a base color for that little emblem first. It's gold. Gold is kind of orangish in color. More yellow than that though. Yeah, that'll do. And we'll try to find this weird neon yellow color for that little moon shape. So it's like this, like that. Don't want it to look too green. But it is more green than the... So that dot is relative to her chest is a little higher, like right in the middle. So I drew it too low here. So it's gonna be like right around here. Yeah. And then, hold on, let's angle it. And then it curves down. Might have been too big. Curves down toward her, still in the rib cage, so it's kind of like stops right here. And it's pointy. And the design, it kind of like has a sickle shape to it like that. Yeah. Okay. The sun is bothering me. Okay. So I see down here we have a big cast shadow for the legs. Whoa, that color is way too dark. Hold on. I guess this would be less of a form shadow color. Yeah, we're going to color this purple. Keep that warm skin color rather than that weird green that was coming. We're just going to go ahead and color this part purple too. We'll worry about bounce light later. And I guess we'll use this cast shadow color like maybe for the tiny like occlusion shadow here under the shorts maybe. Because it's too strong for this cast shadow area here. I mean, should I do partial lighting within the form shadow? I don't know. Don't know. Maybe not too much for now. Okay. And here, it's gonna have a form shadow in the back like that. Yeah, the shadow I made originally for the shorts is like based on the top lighting. Since we don't have a top lighting, we'll think of it a different way. And honestly, since there's a table there still might be a kind of a stronger shadow coming this way. And where is that light on her skin coming from down there? So the whole thing might be a little bit darkened. And where's that highlight and the light coming from? We don't know yet. So we're just gonna do it like this. Shorts are dark black, so I might just use a, I don't know. Yeah. We're gonna totally lose our line art here in the shorts. That's okay. We'll live with it. Thinking more about silhouette here anyway. Something I need to think about when I do line art for characters. Gotta think about silhouette. Like, I don't think I did the greatest job with the silhouette of the coat, and that's like the main part of her silhouette, right? So I kind of just made it flow in kind of weird random directions, but could have done better. Yeah, but overall, I think this is almost like pretty good, right? So is this leg gonna be lit anywhere? I'm trying to play with the lighting and see, because it's pretty much under the table. Yeah, I suppose if there would be any light, it would be like kind of from the side here. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I might strengthen the, you know, they're called soft edges, firm edges, hard edges. Might make the edges a little bit harder here on the shadows. Okay. We'll work on the front part here. Highlight the front. Highlight the front. But don't want to highlight it too much. There will be some form shadow here, up here. It's hard to see with the sun in my eyes. Yeah, I bent forward a little bit so I had less sun in my eyes, and not, all of a sudden I can see the colors a lot clearer. I think having the sun in my eyes was what was making the thing look desaturated. Interesting. Learning more about light in the real world as I paint digitally. So, what's going on here? Where is that from? No, oh, I drew that. No wonder I was able to erase it. Where is that coming from? It's from the line art, isn't it? So I'm gonna go ahead and erase this. Yeah, this part, yeah, that's not good. Let's get rid of that. That piece accidentally went into the line art layer. And this part of the palette too, let's cut and paste that. Accidentally went to the line art layer. Let's paste and bring it into the paint layer. Let's rename this paint. Okay. Now, what I need to do, hold on, let's kind of reset this again. Here's what I need to do. I need to reset this. Yeah, I didn't reset her shirt. I mean, I know it's a darker blue than this, but yeah, I think it should be a darker blue than this for the shirt. Yeah, let's do it this way. Let's color drop this in here. Yeah, we're gonna get in here and paint the shirt. Yeah, I didn't reset it. So now we're gonna do, it's interesting because I have that yellow right on top. I'm gonna end up painting over it actually. Stick with it, stick with it. So I wanna establish that line of form shadow on the coat because it's really gonna say a lot. So I'm gonna analyze this a bit more and think about the form of the coat and the way it's folding and how it's angled toward the computer screen. So where are we gonna have, if at all, any more form shadows? This has been a long session. I don't know if I want to stop here and now. I'm going to take a break. No, let's sit with it. We can stick with it. Maybe until this character's totally done. I don't know. Or maybe until the whole piece is totally done. I don't know. Maybe we'll keep going as long as I have time. I do want to measure, though, how much time I've spent on this and if I'm going over my limit. Once this dips below $19.20 an hour, I'm going to turn on Uber and prioritize that. And make this a lower priority. Right now, I think I'm still within that proper time limit, but I'm trying to be very particular about this. I've done commission work, where I've made 60 an hour, so it's hard to hold myself to that standard. But I think if I return to doing grayscale, drawing and line art commissions, which I'm much better at, to be honest, we can maybe recover a lot of that time. Adding color is it's hard for me. thinking generally. But I want to find that line. Where does the form turn away from the light of the laptop? Yeah. From these time-lapse videos I'm watching of like more professional artists, it's really all about refine. Like sitting with it, taking that time and having patience and just enjoying the process too. A lot of times I put a lot of pressure on myself, you know, and I end up not enjoying the process because I'm focused on pay and time, which is good. You know, I chose being an artist because I enjoyed it. But I have a lot of pressure on myself, and especially for my family, to be able to make enough. So, if you're here on YouTube and you're listening this far into it, give me a super thanks. You know, I would really appreciate that. It's like asking for subs on Twitch. You know, sometimes you gotta ask. But Gary Vaynerchuk, right? He always said, what does he say? Jab, 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 right hook. Give. And then finally ask. I rarely ask for anything, but donations would be so appreciated. Okay, so in here we have, I guess there might be some highlight in here. We got to be choosy with where we put highlights here, because again, this texture of the coat is a little bit more on the hoodie side, right? It's a little fuzzier, so the highlights would be less shiny and more hazy. And there might not be much highlight at all, to be honest. Maybe right on the edges of the fabric there. I'm gonna find some cast shadows anywhere where there might be some occlusion light or occlusion. Right in here, maybe. Not gonna be too much. Right in here. Sort of scribble it in. Blend it in. Yeah. What colors are belt? Light pinkish brownish, the brown pink color. I'm getting here. It's like right over here kind of thing. This kind of color. Is that right? Maybe a little lighter. A little more into the salmon. Is that right? How's that? More desaturated. A little more orange, actually. So let's move it this way. Go this way. How's that? Finding these colors is hard. Or a challenge. Let's call it a challenge. Let's change our verbiage. Finding these colors is a challenge. All right, for the sake of keeping time, I think I've made a lot of good progress on how this is painted from the last iteration. But for the sake of keeping time, I'm going to take a break here, record the time, and just hop right back into it because I want to sit with this. So it's been a long recording, but thank you all for sitting with me as I sit with this one. I'll talk to you all later. God bless. Bye-bye.